Let's get into this. So our final review of the day is going to be for the film Ash. Ash is a film directed by Flying Lotus there. Flying Lotus is a music producer there, very big one there. He's worked with a lot of various artists there, people like Kendrick Lamar. And this is his directorial debut there. Well, actually, he did
It's
do a
his
segment of
it's his feature directorial debut. He directed a segment on VHS 99.
Yes, he did do that as well there, but yeah. And him being a musician there, he also composes a lot of the music for this movie here, Ash, as well. And the music is really good. The soundtrack is really good of this
It's one of his best features.
movie. Yeah, so I'd like quite a bit a lot of the music here. So what's going on in this movie Ash here? Well, you have this space thriller horror film here, starring Isa Gonzalez there. People might know Isa Gonzalez there. She was in that movie with Glenn Powell. What was that movie called?
No, you're
Oh,
thinking
shit.
about
She was
Adria.
Ambulance.
You're thinking yeah, she was an ambulance. You're thinking about Adria Arjona.
Sorry, mixing my women up.
She was also in Baby Driver.
Yeah, she was in Baby Driver. She was in Godzilla versus Kong. She was in that.
Dan, you're mixing up your fine ass Latina.
Yeah, I'm missing out. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
But
It happens
yeah.
to all of us.
Happens to the best of us.
It really does.
She was in that. So it has a woman. She wakes up there, and it's on this planet, and then she realizes that a lot of the crew that she was with, have all been killed, and it's kind of her working backwards to figure out what happened to the crew, what's kind of going on there. Trying to do an investigation there, and in that way. Also, you have Aaron Paul, who's also in this movie, who is also helping him with the investigation. Like, what is his role here? He's supposed to be someone who's coming to help for support and take her out of there. And then maybe he's up to something. But yeah, that's what you kind of got. That's the setup you have of this movie. I'm gonna pass around and get you guys' thoughts on it. Dusk, what are your thoughts on Ash?
Visually, for its budget, it's pretty good. It looks solid. You can feel the effort going to make this into like a lived-in space station that's on the fritz, and something has happened to them. I think Emily's performance, Isa's performance is solid, but not stellar. And we really don't get to see too much performance. It's really her bottleneck movie.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of it rests on her shoulders, and I think she does an admirable job for it. Although I never feel like this is anything more than. This might sound harsh, but this does feel pretty much like a student film.
Mm. Yeah.
Despite its budget.
And yeah, I don't know if I disagree with you there, because Flying Lotus, he looking on the Wikipedia, a lot of the VFX he learned how to do it himself from like YouTube. A lot of it was a passion project for him, and that you kind of feel that this is also written by Johnny Remler, and this movie is essentially like Memento mixed with like Dead Space or Resident Evil, because it is working backwards through a mystery. As she wakes up on the station, the entire crew is dead, and she's getting flashes of events that may have led to the crew around her dying. And there's also this added wrinkle where Aaron Paul shows up in the movie, is claiming to be one of the astronauts who was in the orbiting station above them.
Right. And Brian, Aaron Paul's great. I'm happy to see him. I'm always happy to see him. I really wish there was more on him, because I just need somebody who could really act.
There's a reason for that in this movie, for plot that I can't really give away. But Isa Gonzalez, she's one of those actors who I think is only ever as good as the material that she's given.
Yeah.
It's like in movies like Baby Driver, Ambulance, I think she's fantastic in. And I liked her in a Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, but she's never one of those. I see her name as like, wow, she's gonna be great in this.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, you definitely see the various influences that are on the sleeve of this movie there. You mentioned something like Dead Space there, Alien, obviously, any movie in space that's kind of horror related, that's Alien is also going to be the automatic comparison there for that. And it's very impressive. I mean, I like to see people branch off, do different things. If Flying
Mhm.
Lotus wants to get from music and get into more film and maybe eventually television stuff. Like you see, he directed the segment of VHS there. I haven't seen that segment. Was this segment good?
I haven't seen VHS 99.
Okay. But yeah, so I appreciate that and respect that from him there. And just also, uh, yeah, his ability to learn, like you said, learned on YouTube from this and do all the VFX. I mean, the look of the movie has this kind of almost like that. Did you all see that movie
It
Mandy with Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage?
it's very, psychedelic, with some of the jewels. It's kinda has that, like, kaleidoscopic patterns with it, with
Yeah.
the atmosphere on this planet, and it looks great for the
Oh, yeah.
limited budget that it has.
Mm, yeah. So I thought that was really good. I don't know if this is a role for Isaac Gonzalez there to really do.
Mhm,
Like you said, maybe you should have gone with somebody more of a stronger lead there to really kind of hold this down.
I
Um,
mean, it's who you can get.
mhm,
I mean,
It's
you got
both
Aaron.
it's both who you can get, and she's not necessarily bad in the role, but
mhm,
there's her range felt very limited, both by the
mhm,
script and this. Let's be honest.
and
This movie's very bottleneck.
mhm,
It's a working backwards kind of a film, and that comes with its problems. So you're sh- you as the audience are looking at a story that is unfolding in front of you, just like the character is.
mhm,
But because it's such a limited scope of who the characters are in this environment, you don't get a lot of feedback. This actually would have worked better as a game
Mm,
than it would have
mhm,
as a movie. You could have kept the same premise, and I think playing the role of Isa, playing her the character she plays, I believe it's like
mhm.
yes.
Yeah, Rhea.
Rhea. Yeah, playing as Rhea, I think you would have been able to get more into the mood because this does have a very Resident Evil, Biohazard slash Dead Space feel where you're alone on a ship. You got to put the pieces together of what's happening and what's going on. It's it's impressive for the budget that it has, but it it also struggles because of those limitations.
Mm. What will be your rating?
Uh, man, this is hard. 'Cause you can see a lot of his influence on his sleep. I don't even know if you guys noticed, but in the special, thanks, he even
Mhm,
added, he added special thanks to John Carpenter and
Mm,
Terrence
mhm,
Malick and Ryuichi Sakamoto, who is, famous for, the synth-based Yellow Magic Orchestra. Because I mean, Flying Lotus is a really big, fan of those kind of stuff, and you can see all that influence there from The Thing, John
mhm,
Carpenter's other work, the synth soundtrack, and other aspects of it, Resident Evil.
mhm,
Mm. But its limitations do lead it to just not the best outcomes and very limitations. So I'm gonna give it a low stream it. I'm gonna give it
mhm,
a low stream it. I think if you watch this on stream and you go in with knowing that this is kind of like a student film or at least a first attempt, you might be mildly surprised at some of the visual effects and the environment. But as for anything more than that, I just can't justify giving it more than that.
okay. What about you, Nick?
Uh, I I think that this is a fairly solid science fiction horror movie, and like you were saying, it does have its limitations, and this has all of the flaws that many first time feature directors do. I don't think that the movie's pacing is all that great. I feel like you could have tightened some of that up in the editing room. But I think that for what they're given to Gonzalez, I think she is a solid lead uh, for by the nature of her character because this is a working backwards kind of mystery.
Mhm.
We're putting the pieces together just as
This is a
she
Lucy
is.
situation from Resident
Mhm.
Evil.
Mm.
Yes, and when it gets to, the reveal of the mystery of what's really going on, I think that is really well handled. And of course, the effects that we've talked about for, the limitations that it had, the effects in this look great. And I was on the edge of my seat for the last act of this movie. And it does wear its influences on its sleeve, but that's, not always a bad thing. And I don't think it is. I think this is a solid entry for horror fans. And at the very least, I'm very curious to see what Flying Lotus does next for his next feature.
Mm.
It
So
was
I'd
clearly
say that
written
I'd
with
say this is
passion.
a yeah, I'd say this is a lowish stream it. I'm
Mm.
glad that I took the time to watch it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
I found out some information before you give your rating, Josh. Uh, Respectively, Aaron Paul was originally going to be played by Joseph Gore. His character was originally going to be played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Mm.
Mhm.
and Isaac Gonzalez's character Rhea was originally going to be played by Tessa Thompson. They were originally
Oh
cast, and then
Mm.
they were replaced.
This Thompson would have been cool.
man.
I like this. Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see, like I said, I'd like to see him grow more. I don't want to be too harsh on that
Oh
Flying
yeah,
Lotus there. And see him develop more. Like this is his first feature film, and I think he can do bigger, better things
I
there
mean,
from
this
this.
movie cost $1 million,
Yeah.
just one,
Yeah,
So
and Hollywood terms, that's basically nothing.
yeah.
and so he's made back at least some of that.
Uh,
Hopefully,
yeah. Hopefully. Um,
I don't
I
know.
mean, like I said, you're gonna see definitely if you are familiar with this genre of film, you're gonna see the various influences there that are there with that. But I mean, there's still some things to like about it. I mean, I think that the music is good on this. The look of this movie is really good. It does do a good job at really making you feel the tension of this in this cramped type space there with the darkness, with the red light. All that is done, I think, very effectively in doing that of being following this character of Rhea there. I think it does a good job at that. And the mystery of it, the work in the backwards. When it actually gets to the
Mm.
reveal of the mystery, I wasn't really so big into that all that much myself, but that's just me. The crew of the ship there, when they kind of get moments where you see them interact with each other, I think those are decent moments there. You have Eco Weiss is in this there. Speaking about the raid earlier in the show there, he's also in this there. We saw him in the trailer. He's gonna throw some kicks in there. He's always he's gonna throw some kicks in there as always as he does. You also have how do you pronounce his name? But the character who plays Kevin there, who was in
That's Beulah Cole.
Beulah Cole there, who shows up. There he
He's
was
from
in.
Hawaii Five O, the CBS reboot.
Yeah. He's also in the movie. He probably wants to forget that he was in that Taika Waititi movie. Next Goal Wins. He was
Yeah,
Ugh.
I would forget if I was in that too.
I did not like that movie, but was he? Oh no, that was a different guy.
No,
I was about to be racist again.
I guarantee you. I'm looking at his list. I guarantee you, like whatever it is, you're like no.
Yeah, I was about to be racist again. So yeah, I just give it a stream it for me. It's a
Yeah.
stream. That's about it. I mean, just decent there. With that.
Mhm.
So
Hey,
yeah.
hey, I'd say it's another solid win for Shudder. They're branching out more
Oh
into
yeah,
theatrical releases. I know Clown in a Cornfield was really big for them.
oh yeah, it
And
was.
this.
Yeah. Did you see
No,
that clown?
Yeah,
I
I did
haven't.
see Clown in a Cornfield.
Ooh,
Okay. Yeah. Maybe it'd be interesting to review that with you. If
Yeah.
I make tomorrow.
yeah.
All right. So yeah, restream it's all around for ads.